Good morning, and we are live. Man, it is good to be back. It is really good to be back with you. I have missed you folks so much. I really have. So let's get into it. Fill your cups, grab a pen and paper. We're going to do a roundtable at the end of this one. Let's do it. Miss me? I know I missed you guys. I really did. Let me tell you how much I missed you guys. Right now, there's a ship in the Mediterranean. It is going from Spain all the way to Mykonos. 8-day cruise. Before we got off the last cruise, they got in touch with Mrs. Texas Paul and said, "Hey, you know what? We got in a room for you. If you'll pay the port fees, we've got this cruise for you. Come on, let's go. Let's go." So for the cost of port fees, I could be been in the Mediterranean right now. And I did not go because I missed you folks. I really missed you folks. I really did. That is how much I missed you folks. I could literally be at Santorini, Greece right now, but I would rather be here with you. I would rather be here with you. But yeah, I kept tabs on what was going on while I was out. Had a good time. Some of y'all saw the videos that I was posting here and there. It was a good time, and I missed you folks. So let's get into it. Yeah, if you've lost Joe Rogan, yeah, you're losing. You're losing as a Republican. Check this out.
Before I say anything, I just want to say, whoever's helping her, whoever's coaching her, whoever's the puppet master running the strings, you did a fucking amazing job.
She did a great job.
They did an amazing job from the moment Biden drops out, forcing Biden to drop out. Right, whatever they're doing, whoever's writing those speeches, getting her to deliver them, coaching her, she's nailing it. She nailed that one speech. She's like, "Say it to my face."
Oh, yeah,
everybody's cheering.
Yeah, she nailed it, dude.
And then last night, to me, when I was like, "Oh my God, this is jujitsu," where she's like, "If you go to his rallies, his crowds are boring. They're tired. They all leave her. My crowds are the best crowds. I have the number one crowd." He couldn't help himself.
And she got him. She baited him on that. She walked him right into it.
100%. 100%. See, the difference in that debate was not a difference in like who's going to have better policies, who's going to be better for the country. The difference in the debate, in my opinion, was who was better prepared. She was way better prepared. And even when it came to answering tough questions, instead of answering, she would just say things that she believes.
Yeah, sure.
And they sounded real good.
Yeah, that's
a soundbite.
That's called being a savvy politician.
It's also called being someone who's working with a team versus someone who's like, they said Trump, that deal was the best deal. They've never seen a deal like this before. They said, "How did you put that deal together?"
People thought that was just brilliant. Yeah, I know. It's like
he's not working with a team that's like, I mean, I know he's doing like mock debates. I know he did one with, I think he did one with Tulsi Gabbard, but someone needs to like tell him, like, you've got these tiny little windows and you should have all the words ready for those windows.
He started out
no repeating things.
Yeah, he started out.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. I agree with you, folks. I agree with your comments that you were putting up there. I was sitting there reading the chat while this was going on. I agree with you. Joe Rogan's garbage. He is. But the point still stands. If you're Donald Trump, the guy that Joe Rogan goes to UFC matches and, they're hugging and, you've seen it all. If you've lost Joe Rogan, you're losing, man. You're losing. And the Republicans are out there just trying to spin it, trying to make excuses. She was given the question, BS. The earring nonsense, BS. It's getting tiring having to constantly bat this stuff down. But hey, it's my job. It's what I do. It's what I do. You heard it all. You saw it all last week after the debate. She had special earrings to give her the answers. And I love the best retort to that so many people had. I was so comfortable on vacation. I really was, because people were nailing it. First of all, they went to Tiffany's and they found the exact earrings that she was wearing. No, they weren't special earrings broadcasting into her ears. But even if they were, which they weren't, even if they were, how did those earrings make Donald Trump say such stupid crap all through the debate? Someone tell me how that works. On one hand, the Republicans come out and, he won it all. He won it. Anyways, debate's old news. She wiped the floor with him in the debate. It was great. I don't know about you, but I slept so good that night. I did. I slept so good that night. It was so obvious, the difference. And they just keep going down the toilet bowl. I mean, you've seen the polling, the national poll, and I'm going to warn you folks, national polls mean exactly nothing. Nothing. Polls don't win elections, votes do. And that's the polls in the battleground states that you really have to watch. But just as a general indicator on how people feel in the country, yeah, national polls do that. And as of this morning, Kamala Harris is up 6 nationally. Way to go. Way to go. I got to say it, way to go. Can't take your foot off the gas. I immediately took that poll, put it out on all my social media saying, nope, we're down 10. We're not up 6, we're down 10. You fight like your life depends on it. You fight like we're behind. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't get complacent just because we're up in the polls nationally. No, you act like we're down 10. Amen, Lori. She wiped the floor with him in that debate. And it too, because he immediately just took off. We're not doing another debate. It was that bad when they're refusing to do another debate. Because when you're the guy that's behind in the polls, you have to do another debate. That's it. That's politics, folks. That's what you do when you're running for president. If you're winning, you try not to screw up. You keep your mouth shut. You stick to a few taglines, and that's it. But if you're behind, man, you got to do all this clawing and grabbing and anything you can. You've seen it all. We're going to go over to the Haitian stuff. We're going to go over Ryan Ruth. We're going to go over all of it. But you've got to do all of this. Plus, you have to debate. Unless you just did so badly in a debate, your own campaign is like, oh no. We cannot do that again. Yeah, no. And that's exactly where they are. They are terrified. And this is why. This is why they're going down the toilets. This is what Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and their team is doing. Boom, right there. Starting in January, seniors on Medicare will have their out-of-pocket drug costs capped at $2,000 a year. even for expensive cancer drugs that can cost as much as $14,000 a year, they are going to cap your out-of-pocket Medicare expenses at $2,000 a year. That's what they are doing. That's what they are working on. And juxtapose that to all the craziness we see out of Trump. You know, the 2025 project. Here he is trying to say he knows nothing about it. I just want to refresh your memory, claiming that he knows nothing about the 2025 project. And notice I took this I intentionally took this. This is a right-winger. This is a nutball right-winger.
Sense. I'm not an extremist at all. Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy? Crazy.
So you get it. 2025 project, or as he calls it, the 25 project, because his brain is pudding. Never heard of it. Don't know who that guy is. Them's radicals. Them's radical. I don't even know them people, man. I don't even know them people. Of course, just to refresh your memory, who brought us the 2025 project? Let me remind you who Kevin Roberts is. We've all seen him. We've talked about him here on the show. He is a religious zealot and extremist. That's one thing I'll say, that Trump did tell the truth at one point in there, calling them radicals. This guy is a religious extremist. He is as much of a Christian nationalist as Hezbollah or Hamas or Muslim Brotherhood or Islamic extremists. He is incredibly out there. I mean, the farthest of the mullahs in Iran, the mullahs in Afghanistan. That's who this guy is. Kevin Roberts is frickin' out there when it comes to religion. And he believes, like the mullahs do, and this is why I make the comparison, that his religion must be your religion and your law. That's what makes the 2025 project big part of the reason it is so damn dangerous. Amanda, I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. I really do. I really do appreciate it. Trump is losing it. The mental decline is so apparent. Harris Walls 2024. 100% agree with you 100%. But yeah, they're freaking out there. But here's the problem that Trump has. Same problem he always has. It's his mouth. It's his mouth. This is Trump talking about heritage.
Our country is going to hell. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
So, yeah, he just says it right there. Heritage's plan is the foundation for all of our, he just says it right out of his mouth. This is why they're going down the toilet. You know, they just says the most just BS. I don't know these people. I don't know these people. There's pictures of him and Kevin Roberts flying together. What do you mean you don't know the guy? You know, the author of the 2025 project that works at the Heritage Foundation with Kevin Roberts, he was in your administration. You call the guy out by name in your rallies. But it's not just Donald Trump. This is scary stuff, folks. This is scary stuff. And we cannot forget, this is why Kamala Harris is beating the dog snot out of these people. This is why she is just taking them to the woodshed, and only she's coming back, because she's talking about policy. She's talking about getting things done, and they're talking about stuff like this.
I think the thing that we have to take away from the last 10 years is that we really need to be really ruthless when it comes to the exercise of power. I was talking about this with someone earlier today, where you remember there was some threat that congressional or Senate Republicans made. If you get rid of the filibuster, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And you actually look at it, it's like, well, this is not that interesing.
We're going to actually deliver on our promises that we've made for decades.
Right?
Sounds
this is the threat. If you get rid of the filibuster, we're going to do this stuff. Like, there.
What he's talking about right there and laughing about is democracy. He's talking about working within the framework of our government and our Constitution. That's boring. What's this stuff? They're all laughing it up. They're laughing it up about our government functioning. What a laughable response would be to work within the framework of our government. Let's talk about doing something else.
They're talking about expanding the Supreme Court. They're talking about adding, 2 senators from heavily Democratic places.
You get rid of the filibuster, we'll actually deliver on defund.
We'll do what the nation's been telling us that we don't want to do.
Yeah. So I think, look, I am a cynic about this and maybe even a little bit of a pessimist, but I think the challenge confronting American conservatives is that we have lost every major powerful institution in the country, except for maybe churches and religious institutions, which of course are weaker now than they've ever been. We have lost big business. We've lost finance. We've lost the culture. We've lost the academy. And if we're going to actually really affect real change in the country.
I want to stop it here because what he says right here, I'm going to back it up just a couple of seconds. What he says here is important, but I want to be clear about this. They haven't lost big business. They haven't. They have more billionaires in their billionaire frat club just dumping. They are shooting their shot this election. They are. They are shooting their shot this election with the Republicans. They are all in. They are dumping billions of dollars into dark money groups and PACs. They have not lost big business. They haven't. Big business doesn't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about their employees. All they care about is that bottom line and how much they can take home to themselves, and that's it. And the Republicans are like, do what you want, man. Do what you want. We don't care. You want to screw your employees? We'll protect you. We'll pass laws to protect you. Here in Texas, they brag about it. The Republicans brag about, oh yeah, big business is coming here because we'll let big business bend you over and break it off in you. So yeah, and he's right about the churches. I'll give him that much. He's correct about the churches. The churches are weaker now than they have ever been, but they're weaker now than they have ever been because they moved away from being churches and turned into political institutions that are radical as hell. You don't see the Amish running around telling you, brother, you can't wear that modern material. I'm sorry, you must wear cotton. You must wear wool. You cannot mix fabrics, brother. They're not doing that. They do what they do in their community, but yeah, there are no Amish people walking around like these asshats telling you, you have to live by my Amish traditions. And these people are forcing their religion down your throat. And that's why the churches are weaker than they have ever been. That's why people are fleeing churches in droves. And not to say not to say if the Amish didn't have an extreme majority in this country the way the Christians did for the longest time, they wouldn't do some radical shit. But, just saying, you get the point. You do. You get the point. Randy, I appreciate you, brother. Separation of church and state. Amen. Amen. Preach it, brother Randy. Thank you. But yeah, let's finish this. This is important. Listen to what he says here.
Real change in the country, it will require us completely replacing the existing ruling class with another ruling class. I say that knowing and hearing myself, it sounds really hard. It is really hard, but I don't think there's like a detent with these people. I don't think there's sort of a compromise that we're going to come with the people who currently act.
Okay, that just annoys the shit out of me. And I told you I was going to stop this, so don't be mad at me for stopping. Détente. The word is détente, not detent. No. Detent is a pedal in a bulldozer, which is, never mind.
We actually control the country. Unless we overthrow them in some way, we're going to keep losing. And that's the challenge. Now,
that is the 2025 project. That is the 2025 project. We can't force our beliefs on these people. We don't have the strength to do it because we've got a functioning government, we've got a constitution, we've got all of these things that are stopping us from doing it. We have to change the ruling class. Said it out of his own mouth, folks. That's the 2025 project. I'm done. JD Vance did my job for me. I mean, do you believe it now? I mean, yeah, that's hilarious, bud. I appreciate it. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. But do you believe it now? And this is why I'm telling you, folks, this is why they're losing. Because they're telling you out of their mouth what they're going to do. They're telling you, and they know how horrible it is, because go back to the first video with Trump. I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of it. They're running scared, man. They are running scared any direction they can. And it's sad. It's sick. It's sad. It's really sick and sad. Just to hear people, Mrs. Texas Paul and I were sitting in the dining room, and these people were sitting next to us that were, they were from Texas. And in every single way during that conversation, they were nice people. Charming people. I mean, these are people I would sit and talk to for the longest until immigration came up. And then here come the horns. And they started repeating every single stupid talking point that these people push. And because I had invested some time in these people, and they weren't, horribly offended when I pushed back. But I corrected a lot of what they said. And I explained to them, look, I've been there, man. I mean, feel free, go. Take a look for yourself. That was the approach I took with them. But no, because it's got to be for these people. It's got to be. We're not going to reach them. We're not. And that was the conversation me and Mrs. Texas Paul had after that dinner. I was like, wow, man, I just could not get through to these people because it just has to be for them. There's nothing else for them to hold on to. No policy. The economy is fantastic. Just, and side note on the economy, we're about to see an interest rate cut. You know what? I'm gonna hold off on that. I want to talk about that later on because there's a whole bit we have to talk about. Sharon Reddy says, I have to say this. Donald exceeded his life expectancy last year. Vance is the Heritage Foundation candidate, and they expect him to be president by 2020. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's one conspiracy theory I believe in. Yeah. Project 25. They're talking about the 25th minute. They are going to remove Donald Trump. They are. This is going to be a horrible civil war in our own. We're going to win. Kamala Harris is going to be our next president. But if you go into the land of what ifs and you talk about Trump wins the election, oh yeah, they're going to 25th Amendment that guy so damn fast. And that's why JD Vance is there. Not for his stunning personality. I promise you. Trina Longa, good to see you. I was thinking about you on the cruise. We actually talked about you, to be honest with you. We were talking about something. Anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked. It's good to see you. Trina Longa. Lindsey Graham said on Fox that Trump did lose the debate and Trump took revenge by dragging him out of the closet. Yeah, the rats are jumping ship. Joe Rogan, Lindsey Graham, they can smell blood in the water. And what they're trying to do there, Trina, is they're trying to turn the corner and keep themselves intact as a party. Yeah, really, we're going to see a lot more of that. As Trump keeps slipping and slipping and slipping in the polls, you're going to see candidates distancing themselves, and you're going to see the people that have wanted to go after Trump for the longest, the knives are going to come out. It's going to be interesting. The next few weeks are going to be really interesting. But look what back on top. Look what they're doing to try to get back on message. During the debate, Kamala Harris destroyed their entire immigration argument. It has never worked the way they thought it was going to work. My governor here daily puts out multiple social media posts about immigration. They really thought that was going to take them to the promised land. But they never counted on people like me and people who do what I do to be here to fact check this stuff, to prepare you for the arguments that are coming, the things that they're going to say. Just one thing after another, we see them coming. And I got to tell you, this whole they're eating pets stuff, the minute it broke, what I did was I went and I pulled I pulled news reports out of the UK. I pulled news reports out of the Netherlands. I pulled news reports out of France. I pulled news where they did the same thing, the exact same thing, the exact same verbiage. Just change the animals. In the UK, it was swans and donkeys. Here they said, well, the Haitians are eating cats and geese. For fuck's sake, we all eat geese. I don't, that one blew my mind. It's like, you never seen the Christmas story or the Christmas tale? Dickens sends the boy down to buy a Christmas goose. But anyways, I digress. But the reason they went after Haitians for a reason. You people are politically savvy. We have been doing this together long enough. I want to ask you, this is interactive. We're a community. Why do you think they went after the Haitians? JD Vance has admitted they made this up. And the lady whose story that he warped and twisted has come out and she's like, whoa, sorry, I didn't mean it. It's all been thoroughly debunked. So why do you think? Exactly. They really thought immigration was going to take them to the promised land in this election. And they needed to turn the heat up because Donald Trump had just been destroyed in the debate. Their immigration attack was only resonating within their own bigots. And yeah, they're bigots. They're freaking bigots. Thanks for the support, Mark. I appreciate you. It allows me to do this full time. Made a deal with Mrs. Texas Paul. When we started doing this, it was going to have to pay for itself. And we were still going to have to be able to travel, because this is what we did, folks. We worked our whole lives. We lived beneath our means so that when we got to this point in our lives, we could travel. So I made the promise that if we did this, we would still travel. That's why I just went on a cruise in the middle of election season. Believe me, that was freaking hard for me, because this is my coffee and politics. These are my addictions, man. That was hard to walk away. But yeah, because they're black. That's why. That's exactly why. And thank God. Thank God so many people just came out of the woodwork just to destroy this nonsense and tear it apart. But I tell you, they're bigots. They're not good people, folks. MAGA are not good people. We are better than they are. We are better than they are. Let me tell you, we talked about immigration. We talked about an aging population and why we have to have immigration, and why, yes, it's going to be people of color. It's going to be people with different accents. It's going to be people. It's not going to be white Europeans, because they're in the same boat we are. And the only way we fix it is immigration. We can't birth our way out of it. And Springfield was a beautiful, they really screwed up when they picked Springfield, because it is a beautiful example of exactly what I was talking about. They had a couple of factories open up and didn't have the workforce. They were hiring dregs, man. They had an interview with one of the guys that owns one of the factories. He was like, it was awful. I mean, we were hiring drug addicts. We were hiring anybody we could get our hands on. And these Haitian folks picked up, most of them moved from Florida and moved to Springfield and became the workforce for these factories. And these people running these factories couldn't be happier. The police force couldn't be happier, because they're not criminals. It's only the old bigots that are freaking out. Oh my God, what's this French accent? Oh my God, these people are black. And they've got good jobs, so they're moving into my neighborhood. Living the American dream. Yeah. Springfield is what it's supposed to look like. That is your future, folks. That is your future. Marie Crabtree says, the pet lie is so sickening. Trump and Vance should be in a psychiatric clinic and for yeah. And this is where I'm going. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. My cat's from Springfield. He's doing great. That's good. That is good. But yeah, these people are stochastic terrorists. They're bigots. They're actual terrorists, because what's been going on in Springfield for the last several days, even though this has been roundly debunked, is their bigots are calling in bomb threats. City Hall, just about every government office, schools have had to be emptied day after day after day after day, because these bigoted, disgusting people are calling in bomb threats over made up crap. So I'm telling you, folks, I'm not running from this. I am not running from this. Thanks for the support, Linda. I appreciate you. I'm running to this. Springfield is what we want. It's what we need as a country. Let me jump in the Wayback Machine real quick. This isn't what I planned, but it just jumps out there. Any of you folks know who Juan Seguin is? This wasn't going to be part of the show, but let me pull you up a picture. Anybody know who Juan Seguin? There's a little town here in Texas. It's called Seguin. It's a little small town. Not that small. It's almost a city. It's almost a city. This is Juan Seguin. It's important. Stick with me. This is Juan Seguin. No Juan Seguin, no Texas. Yeah, it's really that simple. No Juan Seguin, no Texas. Sam Houston would have lost without the support of the Texicans. And you know what they did to Juan Seguin? After he helped Sam Houston defeat Santa Anna and Texas win their independence, what do you think the locals did to Juan Seguin? What do you think the bigots did? They called him a criminal. They ran him off his land. They deported him. Yeah. Yeah, they sent him back to Mexico, which was a great life for a guy that had just, helped the Texas, people of Texas win their independence from Mexico. Yeah, they stole his land, man. As a big thank you. Folks, there's a parallel to what's going on in Springfield. These Haitians came. They work. They're pumping that economy up. They are. Why? Because they don't want to live like they lived when they first got there. That was expensive. It's a hard move. It's just like if you had to relocate, what are you going to do? You're going to work. You're going to build your life up. You are an engine to the economy at that point. They will be for decades. Hell, for generations. They're renewing Springfield. But what do the bigots do that are benefiting? The old bigots that are on social welfare, social programs like Medicaid, Social Security, whatnot. Are they grateful that these people are there working and paying into it? No. They make up shit stories about them. They hate on them. And no, it's not all white people. It's not, look at me, I'm white. I don't do that shit. You don't do that shit. But they do. That's who they are. And their leaders know it. And they push it. That's why J.D. Vance concocted this story. That's why the bigots, the white supremacists, all ran with it. Well, yeah, I'm not running from Springfield. I'm not running from the Haitians in Springfield. They're damn good people doing exactly what we're going to see happen over and over and over in this country. You're going to see immigrants come in. And you better hope a lot of them are Mexican. Let me tell you something. I've lived in Texas I'm born in Texas, born and raised. And you are not born and raised in Texas that you do not have close relationships to Mexican people. There are way more Mexicans in this state than appear on our census because for some odd reason, Mexicans don't fill out their census forms in the same rates that white peoples do. They just don't. There are actually way more Mexicans in the state than is what's represented. They're good people. They just are. Family people. They're good people. All they want to do is the same thing you do. Be safe, be economically safe, love your family, have get-togethers with your family. That's what they want. And that's what they do. So yeah, I'm not backing off of immigration. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Come on. I will run you into the ground because facts are on my side. But yeah, it's not just that. That is one of the reasons they are dying in the polls. But it's not just that. It's just Trump he's lost it. I mean, just lost it. He has pudding for brains. And it is showing, man. It is showing.
We're energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant, and we would have been now having so much money coming out of the energy. We just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia. I got it approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. I got it done. In their first week, they terminated it.
No. Bagram is an air base in the Middle East. There is no Bagram oil field in Alaska. There's no Bagram town in Alaska. He's just gone. He's just gone. And he's trying to take credit for the Alaskan oil fields. My God, I mean, really? Your entire there's some folks that I'm old as shit, man. And there are people, I guarantee you, older than me in here that will tell you they've been drilling in Alaska since before they were alive. What the hell is he talking about? That man has pudding for frickin' brains, man. He is gone. And I want you to watch how small he is here. Take you. Watch this next clip. I'm going to show you a bunch of clips of this guy talking. This is why Kamala Harris is winning. Because she has policies. She's intelligent. She's smart.
How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
Good. Very good. Thank you. So we have to start always with energy. Always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal. And we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, we've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50.
Okay. Donald Trump has made a lot of promises. He's not going to tax tip. That's a lie. He's going to tax Social Security. That's a lie. I'm just one thing after the other. I'm going to cut your energy costs by 50%. Okay. All right. There isn't 50% to be cut. You know, folks, Mobil doesn't make a lot per gallon off a gallon of gasoline. I mean, just pick whatever type of energy you want to talk about. It all is the same. Mobil doesn't make a lot per gallon off a gallon of oil or even a barrel of oil. It's just there's a frickin' lot of it that we use every single day. And pennies add up. There is not 50% to cut. I mean, even if he was sincere here, it's not feasible. Folks, I just posted a picture. Of the price of the gas pump. It's about $2.50 here right now. It's $2.48, I believe. That's about as low as it gets in a normal functioning economy. Now, I'm not talking about while the economy shut down from COVID, the world economy is destroyed. No, $2.25, $2.50 a gallon is as cheap as it gets. in our area before American companies start going out of business. They can't function below that. During COVID, go check out Mr. Global 2. Excellent source. Works in the oil and gas industry. He will tell you during COVID, American gas companies were dying. They were left and right going out of business. And the Russians and the Saudis took advantage of it. They ramped up their prices. It took us a while to get back into the game. And under the Biden administration and his policy of use it or lose it, yeah, we're back in the game, baby. We're the world's largest producer of oil. But no, there ain't 50% to cut. This is about as cheap as it gets in a normal functioning economy. I'd love to tell you next year it's going to be $1, but it isn't. It isn't. And inflation is going to make that number go up. So, yeah, I mean, this is all crap. Everything he says. Let me let it finish here.
Interest rates are going to follow, and actually they're going to follow for another reason. The economy is now not good. And interest rates, you'll see they'll do the rate cut and all the political stuff tomorrow, I think. And, will he do a half a point? Will he do a quarter of a point? But the reason is because the economy is not good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we're going to get interest rates down, and we got to work with our farmers.
All right. This is the second part of this video. I told you I wanted to hold off on talking about interest rates. The Fed took a lot of criticism, especially by morons on the right. You've seen them, Jim Cramer, all of these nutters on the right that are financial experts. They say inflation happened because the Fed didn't raise interest rates fast enough. They were too slow to react. No, that's not true. It's just not true. Folks, interest rates is a great throttle on the economy. It is. Raise it, the Fed raises their prime rate, and it makes it more expensive to borrow. And because it gets to be more expensive to borrow, business and people buy less. So yeah, if you've got an overheating economy, interest rates are a great way to throttle that economy and stifle inflation, which is to a degree what they did, but they didn't do it right away. And there's a reason. The original spike in inflation didn't come from normal natural causes. It came from COVID. Do you remember empty car lots? Do you remember empty store shelves? There was no supply. Prices skyrocketed because there was no supply. Raising interest rates doesn't help that situation. It doesn't. It has no effect. Because if you can't get your fundamentals, if you have a broken old car and you've got to have a new car so that you can go back and forth to work to feed your family, 2 extra points on the interest rate isn't going to change your mind. You're going to go buy that car. And if there are no cars available, you're going to pay out the butt for that car because you're going to be competing for it. That's why they didn't jack interest rates up, because it wouldn't have helped. As the economy reopened, they started raising interest rates. We're up to around 7% right now. They did exactly what they intended to do, a soft landing. They brought inflation back under control. It is no longer growing crazy because our economy is open. It is churning and burning, man. It is running. Factories are blowing and going. So yeah, raising interest rates made sense. We needed to slow down how much people were buying to slow the economy. And it worked. prices are coming down. They are. Prices are coming down. Supply and demand is working. There's excess supply at this point. Prices are coming down. They've slowed inflation dramatically. So what do? You start cutting interest rates. That soft landing they kept talking about. That's all it is, folks. I mean, it's really not that complicated. They try to make it complicated, and you get guys like Trump here lying. Oh, they're raising interest rates because the economy's bad. No, the economy's not bad. It's not. And they're going to damn sure make sure it doesn't get bad. See, all Trump did during his entire administration was leave interest rates dirt low. He talks about, well, I had financial successes. Yeah, you had financial successes because you sat there and you poured gasoline on the fire continuously. That is one of the major reasons we had such a huge spike in prices so quickly, because credit was cheap when supply was gone. I mean, think about that, folks. If you're selling something, credit is cheap, but there's very little supply. What do you do if you're selling a car at that point? You jack the price up sky frickin' high. That's what Trump did. Because he was trying to hide behind those artificially low interest rates to keep his economy functioning when none of the fundamentals were working. They're working now. The grown-ups are in the room. That's why I'm telling you, folks, that the whole point of this show is to remind you why we have to keep our foot on the gas. A good poll doesn't mean crap. It doesn't. We have to stay in the fight. We have to act like we're behind. We have to act like we're fighting for our lives, because we are, because of this insanity.
Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. And you know, one of the reasons is we allow a lot of farm product into our country. We're going to have to be a little bit like other countries. We're not going to allow so much
The question was, how are you going to lower grocery bills? Well, one, grocery bills are lowering. They are. That's just the way it is. They peaked and they're coming down. They just are. What he is saying is he's going to do what he did in his last administration all over again. Go talk to a farmer and ask them about this trade war with China. Ask him about the tariffs they slapped on everything and what it did to our farmers. He's talking about doing that again. He's told you he's going to put a 20-25% tariff on everything. Folks, that does not help. Tariffs are the nuclear bombs of trade negotiations. They're the nuclear bombs of trade wars. And the Republicans like to say, well, if they were so bad, why didn't you repeal them? That's the problem. Once you create this mess, it is so damn hard to untangle. It takes decades of negotiations for everything to be slowly on both sides peeled back. And while you're doing that, the economy compensates. So the peeling back can actually sometimes become hurtful. It's a mess. I can't stress to you enough, when he talks about doing this again, this is dangerous. And it takes decades to undo. We cannot do this again, folks. And you know who knows that? Farmers. My folks are from the Midwest. My family, both on my mother and father's side, before they moved down to Texas, and boom, I'm a Texan. I was born and raised here. My family's from the Midwest. I have kin that are farmers. I got an uncle that farms about 10,000 acres, man. And they are red as hell. Have been forever. Not anymore. I told you, pay attention to battleground polling. Biden was down 18 in Iowa. Kamala Harris is close to within 5. In 2 weeks, she'll be in the margin of error in Iowa. By election day, we may win Iowa. Because Trump is running around telling you what he's going to do. The man is telling you what he's going to do. Check me and check my numbers, by the way. We're within 5 in Iowa. At this rate, in 2 weeks, we'll be in the margin of error. 2 weeks after that, we'll be ahead in Iowa. Peter Campbell, good to see you, my man. Tariffs are nothing more than a disincentive to buy something. The buyer pays the tariff. That's correct. Or they choose to buy something else. Vote the Sanity and Logic Party, Harris Walls. Yes, that is the thanks. Thank you for putting me back on track, my brother. I appreciate you people so much. You know, everybody that I invite to come on the show, I brag about how informed you are, how intelligent you are. And I tell you, thank you for putting me back on track because I was getting sidetracked there a little bit. Yeah, he tries to sell this crap and tell people that everyone that's ever been in 10th grade is taught about the Holly Smoot tariffs. They know what tariffs do and they know who pays them. You pay them. And he keeps, and I really think at this point, he's so pudding brain that he believes this. He keeps telling you, well, the other countries are going to pay us billions of dollars because of these tariffs. No. That bill's paid by me and you. You and I pay that bill. The manufacturer doesn't eat it. They give it to you. They say, here's your bill, sir. Oh, you wanted that car? You know, BYD, one of the biggest manufacturers of electric vehicles in the world, actually the biggest in the world, is opening plants in Mexico to sell electric vehicles in Central and South America. They don't sell them here. And they've got some nice ones, man. They really do. Go look at some, boy, I tell you what, their Luxurian, wow. They've got some, BYD has some incredible, they started out pretty rough. They did. They were kind of a joke when they first started, but they're making some nice stuff now. They can't sell them here. They can't. Tariffs. There's 20% tariff. If they try to manufacture a car and sell it here, because of our trade policy, they cannot sell it here. They just can't. That's what tariffs do. China's not saying, oh, well, I'll eat that 20%. They're saying, no, I'm going to have to charge you that 20%. That's tariffs. And yes, BYD would kill Tesla overnight. Overnight. But yeah, that's not the only thing that's gone on, you know, all the craziness and stuff. We've had another attempt on Trump's life, and I'm really going to have to piss some people off here. Yes, it was an attempt on Trump's life. No, he never got within sight of Trump. No, he never fired a shot. He never fired a shot at Trump. He never fired a shot at the Secret Service, and he ran. But yeah, you don't hide in the bushes at Trump's golf course with an AK-47 and a camera and homemade body armor. Well, anyways, I'll let Tizzy explain. I like Tizzy. We talk every once in a while. He put a video out explaining who this Ryan Roof guy is, and he did a good job of it. So I'm just going to let him do it. Stick with me here.
56 from the U.S. From North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now.
The audio gets
Flew all
better.
the way from Hawaii here.
Yeah, so that was Ryan Routh, or Roth, depending on how it's pronounced. The man who's being charged with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The second attempted assassination that happened yesterday in West Palm Beach, Florida. It was at Donald Trump's golf course, and he went there in a wooded area outside of the course. There was a chain link fence, and set up sort of like a little sniper's nest. He had with him an assault rifle with a scope. He had put up a couple of backpacks with ceramic tile in them, presumably as like makeshift body armor. And he had a GoPro because I guess he wanted to document what he was doing. Fortunately, long before Donald Trump was even in the area, Secret Service spotted him and opened fire on him, and then he ran. I don't even think he fired any shots. He just took off. Golf course is here. He jumped in his vehicle. Someone spotted it, got plates. He jumped on the interstate 95 there and was headed, I think, back to North Carolina, where is one of the places he resides. And he was picked up in Martin County, and he's in custody and being charged, as I said. And of course, right-wingers immediately went to, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat who wanted to kill Trump because he's a Democrat, and that's what Democrats do. Because Democrats...
Now, let me interrupt Tizzy here. He's about to give you some more good information before he does. Now, the reason they're saying he's a Democrat is the same reason Jim Jones faked his own assassination. Is it riles up their base, which is, you've seen it happening. There are no signs out like there have been in the past. Trump is a tired old record. He's failing. They're really hoping if they can label this guy a Democrat, they can rile up they're trying to kill him. You know, I mean, that's why they're saying this. But anyways, let's just.
Democrats are known for wearing almost exclusively American flag apparel, right? I mean, this and the other thing, and I've seen like 8 other pictures with him just adorning himself in American flags. It's a real big thing you see from a lot of Democrats, right? Democrats definitely voted for Donald Trump in 2016, right? And Democrats definitely refer to Joe Biden as Sleepy Joe. That's a Democrat nickname, right? And they're mad at Biden over not supporting Ukraine enough, because that was like his whole thing. He was upset with Biden and with Donald Trump and with pretty much everyone over Ukraine not being supported enough. And of course, hardcore Democrats always supported Tulsi Gabbard, who all of us pretty knew was never a Dem and finally has acknowledged that publicly. He was a big fan of her and a big fan of Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy because, again, Democrat, I guess. I do find it interesting, though, that when all this came out, that he really seemed to be a right-leaning individual that was mad, and he made statements about being mad that Donald Trump didn't do what he thought he was going to do. His account got suspended on Twitter. I wonder who could have been behind that. He also has a pretty lengthy record. I mean, looking at his videos and his posts and his thoughts about war, you might think, this guy, not so great up there. Probably shouldn't be owning firearms. Who's going to let someone like this just buy a rifle they could use to try and assassinate a former president? Who indeed? Meanwhile, people on the right are blaming the Democrats. The Democrats did this. Their rhetoric did this. Or it's them. They tried to kill me. That's what they say. First kid, conservative Republican. Always argued in favor of and supporting conservative values. Trump signs in his yard. This guy, voted for Trump 2016, seems to just be mad that Trump wasn't what he thought he was. He felt hoodwinked and bamboozled in some way. No one's paying attention to the fact the common denominator in these situations is Donald Trump. My grandfather used to have a saying. He'd say, if you get up one day, you run into a couple of assholes. We had a bad day and you've been a couple of assholes. Go to bed. Tomorrow's a new day. But if you get up each and every day and all you meet is assholes, I got news for you, kid. You're the asshole. No one should be trying to assassinate anyone. That's horrific and should be condemned in the strongest terms possible. But also possible that Donald Trump is just the asshole.
I'm glad to see your comments. I'm glad y'all like Tizzy so much because, we go way back to TikTok. We do. We both liked each other's work. We do things a little. He is really good at digging into people's backgrounds and getting information there. we were talking, and I didn't just play his video. I asked his permission. You notice I played the whole video. I mean, 4 minutes worth of tizzy there. I asked his permission before I did that. And we're like, why haven't we ever done anything together? You know, he's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. We're going to. So I'm glad to see y'all like Tizzy, because Tizzy will be joining us in the future. He does good work. He really does good work. He does. The point being, and I just want to add a little bit to what Tizzy was saying there. The point being, they really, really, really are manufacturing a lot of crap to try to make this guy look like a Democrat. And some of the things that you're hearing on social media, if you're on social media, is that he donated to Act Blue. 34 times he donated to Act Blue. They've had to roll that back. That turns out that wasn't true. Let me introduce you to Ryan Ruth. Not the shooter. This is Ryan Ruth. A lot of those donations were from this guy. This guy is not the shooter. This is, for all I know, I don't know him. For all I know, he could be a great guy. He works for Jones Day, Reeves and Pogue. He's an attorney. And they've been defaming an attorney that works for Jones Day. And if you know anything about the law, or ask our lawyers in there, don't screw with Jones Day. Jones Day is a very, very big and powerful law firm, and they are defaming one of their attorneys. Because if you know anything about attorneys in the legal profession, they tend to make donations on both sides of the fence. I'm sure that's what this Ryan Ruth guy was doing, was making those donations to Act Blue. So a lot of what they were trying to say this Ryan Ruth's donations was not even the shooter. There was another one that was a teacher. There are more people in this country named Ryan Ruth than the shooter. So what they did was they went back and they photoshopped it. And they took the donations that, this Ryan Ruth guy, the shooter, made donations through Act Blue. He did. But they took the donations that they listed and they photoshopped it to make it look like more, because they were all just going away. They were. Well, some really sharp people took a look at those donations. And Ryan Ruth, the shooter, or would-be shooter, I shouldn't call him a shooter. He didn't shoot anything or anyone. Never got a shot off, but did make donations on Act Blue to Tulsi Gabbard. This is Tulsi Gabbard's Act Blue account. Let's see here. Yes, legitimately, she has an Act Blue account. You see it right here, Act Blue. Yeah. This guy was a Tulsi Gabbard supporter. He supports outliers, people that are out there. Not the only not Democrat that acted like a Democrat that ends up being somebody else that this guy supported. He supported those people like, Andrew Yang. That was his top contributor, Act Blue. Andrew Yang, the guy that ran against Democrats, the Yang Gang, all that nonsense. That's who this guy was donating to on Act Blue. I mean, they got nothing, folks. Reality has a liberal bias. It just does. But these people desperately want you to believe, and when I say these people, I mean the Russians. I do. I mean the Russians. As soon as this guy's name came out, this happened. And I know you've seen this if you're on social media, because they try to post it as proof that he is a Democrat, he's Antifa, he's all these. This is bullshit. You see this new emblem here, right here? Yeah, as soon, and notice the name is not, it's kind of an off of his name. As soon as his name was released, a dozen or more fake accounts were immediately brought up on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, then we're not this guy. They were not Ryan Ruth. Notice it says he's LGBTQ. He's ACAB. Democrat. Anti-Nazi, anti-fascist. He's Antifa, for Christ's sake. No, this is fake. This is fake. And they've gone so far now because we busted them. We absolutely busted them for these fakes. Because look, it says new. It says it right on it. They've actually photoshopped that one and taken the new out, and they took another picture and they, put a little circle picture of him on there because they desperately need their people to think he's a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. Democrats don't vote for Trump. Just a couple months ago, the guy was supporting Haley. His social media, he had posts where he was begging Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy to form a dream ticket, in his words, to represent the American people. I'll rely on you folks because you're some of the smartest people I know. How many Democrats were supporting Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy and asking them to run as a dream ticket? And somebody took a picture. This guy lives in Hawaii. He has family in Hawaii. He has a wife. He has a kid. So they went to his house and they took a picture. There's a truck parked in front of the house. It's obviously a technician's truck. Somebody that's there that's working on something in that house. And it's got a Harris Walls sticker on the back. It's not his truck, man. It's just some rando guy that's doing some work for the guy's wife. They desperately need their people to believe that he's a Democrat. For the same reason, like I said, that Jim Jones faked his own assassination. And I'm not saying it's a fake. I'm not. I believe this guy is nutty as a freaking fruitcake. I believe he was crazy as could be about Ukraine. And he's just a nutter, man. The people he ping-ponged around are always these fringe people. Tom Steyer. He was trying to support Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer was trying to, do his thing to undercut Joe Biden. I mean, the guy's not a Democrat, but they keep bringing like this up. You see that's the attorney from Jones Day. But yeah, these donations, that's Tulsi. That's Andrew Yang. But that's all they've got. And when I say that's all they got, I mean, that's all they got. Let me introduce you to the National Review. This is the National Review. When it comes to conservatism, and I use the word conservative, not Republican, not MAGA, not anything, conservative. This is supposed to be the gold standard for conservatism. They like to pretend like they're not partisan, but they're partisan as hell. They're always, they try to bend every Republican idea as though it's like something that is really good for conservatives. You know what I mean? It's just, but yeah, this is the gold. So these are supposed to be their policy people, the non-crazies. Okay. Let me introduce you to the editor-in-chief of the National Review. This is Rich Lowry. He was doing an interview about the whole Haitian thing. And this is what he had to say.
I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson of this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. You know, they all things considered, I think people prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, it's the cats and dogs.
And Megyn Kelly's still smiling.
The standard. Geese clearly don't matter.
Let's play.
I mean,
it's only a 40-second clip, right?
I loved. I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, you know, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from.
Yeah, that's the policy people. I ask you again, why do you think they're talking about Haitians? Why do you think they're doing the immigration thing? It's hate. It's bigots. So pretty please. I love you folks. And I know you're good-hearted people. I know you're good-hearted people. I see your comments. I sit here while I'm talking. I read your comments. I know you're good-hearted people. You are. Please stop trying to take me to task for saying they're all bigots. Because they're all bigots. Do you know how comfortable with that word you have to be? That word's never slipped out when I'm in casual conversation. Never. You know how comfortable with that word you have to be? And he's made it worse. He tried to say, I was mispronouncing the word migrants. Yeah, you were. And we know what you were thinking when you were thinking migrants. Yeah. Those 2 words don't sound the same. So, yeah. This is why we can't stop. We can't stop fighting. We can't. It doesn't matter. I don't care how many people show you that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are doing amazing in the polls. They're doing everything they're supposed to do. They haven't had any gaffes. They are doing everything they're supposed to do. They're doing the work. They are putting their policy out there that are real policies. It's not made up crap like, I'm gonna cut your energy bill by 50%. You know, I mean, no, real policies. They're doing the real work. They're really governing. They're really, really doing the work. And you have to act like we're 10 points down in the polls and you're fighting for your life because you are. These people are shooting their shot, man. They're really trying to say we're going to be a bigoted, white, racist, Christian nationalist, extremist version, you know, American Taliban, man. That's what we're going to be. And it's going to be dangerous, folks, because I really believe that conspiracy theory that they're going to try to take Trump out. They are. And I tell you, the bigots are going to lose their damn minds when they do that. It's going to be like 1930s Germany where they're freaking killing each other. It's going to be, we just have to win this. We just do. And they know they're losing, folks. They know they're losing because they're doing stuff like this. There's a ballot measure in Ohio to end gerrymandering. And the Republican-controlled Supreme Court just stood behind language. The Democrats were suing because this ballot measure, the way the Secretary of State's office worded it on the ballot, is an amendment to end gerrymandering. In their words, the way they worded it actually makes gerrymandering mandatory. Yeah, let me say that again. They're saying that this ballot measure, which ends gerrymandering, it makes it illegal to gerrymander. They worded it on the ballot so that if you don't pay attention to politics or whatever, you're going to walk into the booth and this ballot measure is going to say, this makes gerrymandering mandatory. And they approved that. They said, no, that's the way it's going to be. And they're running the clock out because there's no time to change it. We're at the election. There's no change in ballots. I mean, we've got a couple weeks left and that's it. And when I say that, registration time's running out. Here in the state of Texas, you have to be registered 30 days before the election. They're pulling their shenanigans right now. That's how they know they're losing. Because they're cheating. Old evil Popeye down here, Walleye Paxton, doing everything he can to try to keep people from being able to vote. If you really had the support of the people, you'd want them voting. You wouldn't be doing things like twisting things. You wouldn't be suing to get ballot measures taken off the ballot. Missouri, they fought like hell. And they did. They kept abortion on the ballot, but it looked like it was going to go away. And they're not done fighting, man. They're fighting this all the way to the deadline to change the ballot. And they're trying to time it so that they can get a change made right at the last second so the courts won't have time to act. So what do you got to do, folks? What's the assignment? I'm asking you, what is the assignment? Check your registration. Get your people registered. Everyone around me, I'm making sure they're ready to go. I'm talking to them about voting plans. Yeah, you got to have a voting plan. See, I live in a very, very red area, so they always put plenty of machines out here. I don't really need to, make sure that I've hydrated and everything before I go to the polls. But if you live in a Democratic area, yeah, you better have a plan. You better think through how to deal with all the tricks and the nonsense. What do you do if they challenge your registration? You got to have that plan in place. Don't get caught flat-footed, because we got to win this, folks. We do. Polls don't win elections. Votes do. Let's do it. I love you, folks. That's what I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. We went a little bit long. We can do a couple minutes of roundtable if you like. Any questions you've got, throw out there. Would love to talk to you about them. But yeah, that's what I had for you today. God, it's good to be back with you people. I missed you people so much. I really did. Is there anything that's happened recently that we didn't cover today? And thank you for all the support, folks. I really appreciate it. No, I'm not going and taking cruises on your dime. I'm not doing that. I pigeonhole any money I don't spend on the show. I pigeonhole for the show to upgrade equipment and whatnot in the future. This was our lives. Me and Mrs. Texas Paul, we planned this. And I got to tell you something, folks. This is what I want for you. I'll start the roundtable off talking about cruising. Do it. Do it. We're at the point now, you don't have to be afraid of COVID. We've all been exposed to it enough. It's not dangerous. Cruise. Do it. It's the easiest vacation you'll ever take. Once you move your bags, the hotel goes with you, man. It is the best way to vacation. I'm telling you. And once you get yourself in a position like me and Mrs. Texas Paul, back during COVID, we bought some Carnival stock. We bought the dip during COVID. So, yeah, we're stockholders. We're frequent cruisers. We're part of that VIP club. And Mrs. Texas Paul, God love her, she can squeeze a quarter till the eagle screams. I'm not even kidding. Carnival got in touch with us and said, hey, we got a cruise for you. Santorini, Greece, man. Mykonos. Beautiful Aegean water. Come on. For port fees. For port fees. That was it. Just don't make us lose any money. We got an empty room. We want you in it. Come on. Do it. Sherry, you would be surprised. That's my point. Yes, when you start cruising, the first one ain't cheap. The first one isn't cheap. You're going to have to save some money. But Carnival, and this is why I love Carnival, it's my people. It's my people. It is full of frugal people and poor people. That's my people. That's why I there are great lines. Ask people in there. There are people here that are cruising other cruise lines, and they're amazing. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, my cruise line, the only cruise line. No, I just cruise Carnival because I'm a tightwad. I am. They have great deals. They have great deals. Do it, man. Do it. Get out. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. And we got a great holiday coming up. All right, that's enough about that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Uncle Fatty says, MAGA is an addiction. Denial, rationalizations, justifications, blame game, deflect, and redirect. Only I can fix this. The whole world is against me. Yeah. Yep. Cult 101. Everybody says it. Everybody that studies cults say, yeah, this is a cult. Don't be. Don't be. Once you take a cruise, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You will not be afraid. You're in a floating hotel. I mean, you're not even close to the water while you're on the boat. Yeah. Alaskan cruises are amazing. I've done one, and they are amazing. Seeing orcas with your own eyes, just swimming with the boat, it's netherworldly. It is. That's generosity right there. That's what I'm talking about. I love you people. I really do. That is generosity. We're working on it. We're working on getting old Turd Cruise out of here. We're doing the work, baby. That's all we can do. Do the work. I'm here. You're here. We're doing it. Oh, hey, yeah, the almost forgot. Put the damn thumbnail up with Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift, and then I didn't even talk about them. Man, what kind of crap is that? Yeah, that was. Of course, we saw the Taylor Swift endorsement that just made Donald Trump lose his mind, which I'm glad to see. You never saw Joe Biden put a tweet out that he hated somebody before, have you? I mean, that man just not there, just not freaking there. But yeah, you folks that don't know who Billie Eilish is, if that's a little too young for you, she is very influential with young folks. And her brother not only just came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, but they are running a voter registration campaign for young people, and they're running education campaigns on their own dime, just doing the right thing, explaining to people why they can't be bored by politics, why they can't just sit it out, and why they can't listen to stupid stuff, and why they need to vote for Kamala Harris. I mean, this whole Billie Eilish thing is huge. The Swiftie thing, big. I mean, that was big. But she's busy. She's just doing her life. She's still running her, you know what I mean? She's still on tour. She's still the biggest of the performers out there doing her thing. Billie Eilish, man, she didn't just endorse. She dove into that politics pool head first and is working, man. She is working. There's a great video of her and her brother. If you're on social media, do a search for Billie Eilish. And the video of her and her brother will be one of the first ones that pops up. It's just gone viral everywhere. But she is amazing. She is amazing. You know that, you know it. You know it. That's one that'll make more sense to people that look like me, Stevie Nicks. All right. Well, it's 11:30, folks. We've been at this officially for an hour and a half. If we go too long, nobody will watch it on the replay. So let's call it here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday. I may have a good guest for you on Friday. I think I've got one lined up. We're talking about it. We'll see if it happens. I'm looking forward to seeing it. God, it's good to be back with you people. I missed you people a lot. I really did. I love doing this with you folks. I know it is not the best production quality for me to sit here and keep reading the chat as I do the show. You know, I'm looking at you instead of looking at the camera. No, I love being with you folks. I really do. I really do. As somebody that takes and spends so much time just digging through the negativity so that I can prepare folks, you know, like I said, we've talked about it a million times. That caravan is coming, folks. That caravan is coming, and it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. The caravan's not going to be enough. We've done way too much preparation. In the next couple of weeks, the caravan's not going to be enough. There's going to be something else that they're going to pull out their butt. The Aurora stuff didn't work because it had holes in it, and we knocked it down. We did the job. This latest stuff with the Haitians ended up blowing up in their faces, man. It just showed who they are. So they're not gonna quit. They're gonna keep trying. They're gonna keep at this. So you know something horrible is coming in the next couple of weeks. And I'm keeping an eye out, see if I can get the whispers. And so, yeah, I am in that disgusting soup. And being able to come here and spend time with you, it's like a shower, you know? You just come out feeling clean. But I love you folks. Thanks for spending time with me. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate you. You're funding all the upgrades that are coming. We're looking at, just so you know, we're looking at some facilities. The internet's a problem. It is. And there's just no way to get around it. I was just talking to one of the internet provider I use for the home stuff, just to stream movies. It's not fast enough on the upload to actually do the show. They're supposed to upgrade, but that could be a year. You know, so I don't know. So we're looking at two different directions. Maybe leasing some office space, or just toughing it out and seeing what we can do for the next year. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. But I appreciate all the support. You pay for it all. I'm grateful. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.